Excited to be here. I'm going to give it a minute, but I'm going to be going live with the amazing Camilla, and she is a celebrity stylist. She's an author. She's been featured on Good Morning America, and she's an author of the ebook called Beyond the Braids. So I'm so excited to share her journey because she has a really inspiring story. And for those of you who don't know, we have aligned with an organization called Beauty Changes Lives. And Beauty Changes Lives is a partner that I am personally and us at Cunity are very committed to because they provide scholarships and mentorships to help make the beauty industry, the professional beauty industry, a first choice career. And Camilla is actually one of the scholarship recipients of the Beauty Changes Lives scholarship. So she's going to share how this changed her life, how it led her to go on tour with Madonna. And it's very exciting. So I'm just going to wait until she joins us. See here. Okay, I see her. So we've got Camilla. Hello, Camilla.
Hi.
I'm so excited to have you.
Hi. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And I was just sharing, for those of you who don't know, Camilla is an author. She's a celebrity stylist. And she's got an amazing ebook called Beyond the Braids, which we're going to talk about too.
Yeah.
And most importantly, and really most relevant to for our Cunity audience, is Camilla is the recipient of a Beauty Changes Life scholarship. And she has such a powerful story about how this allowed her to enter in really the next phase of your career, Camilla, and reach your dreams. And then I don't want to get too, I'm not going to tell your story for you, but I watched some of your scholarship videos and some of the videos that you've put out there. And I was almost in tears, I have to say, because it is so powerful. And you said something that, I mean, it really struck a chord with me because I'm such a believer in this, but you said something that you are one decision away from a different life.
Yes.
And I'm like, it's so powerful. And what I'd love for you to do is just as people are popping on here and for our audience that maybe doesn't know about you, doesn't know about Beauty Changes Lives, talk to me a little bit about your background and start, from as far back as you want to, and then now to who you are today.
Okay. So first, thank you again for inviting me.
You're so welcome.
So I'll start my career story. Basically, I went to Drexel University, came home, graduated from Baruch, have a marketing degree. But what was happening is that I couldn't find a job in marketing because so I didn't get experience, and without experience, I can't get a job. And so I was in this gerbil wheel with my career. And at a job fair, I landed at Gemological Institute of America. So that I started off in jewelry. And so after a few years working in jewelry in the diamond district and learning that world, I realized, and I said this during my a speech for Beauty Changes Lives, the one thing I learned about the beauty industry is that I did not want to be in the beauty in the jewelry industry. So after years of doing it, I realized something was lacking. And even though I couldn't put a finger on it, I was like, I don't want to work with things. I wanted to work with people. And after 3 layoffs in the jewelry industry, I took a leap and I said, I'm not actively looking for employment in the jewelry industry anymore. I am going to change gears completely and go to beauty school. So because I already had my degree and I did it the right way for my parents, I was like, I'm not a beauty school dropout, but I'm going to change careers and try something new. And my mom is the person that found the scholarship on the website of the school I went to. I went to Hair Design Institute, which is now Brittany Beauty Academy in New York. And yeah, I applied for the scholarship. I had 2 days to enter before the deadline. And I was already taking such a leap that my mom was like, just do it. 2 days, that's enough time. You're a creative person. And I put together the video and I submitted it, and then next thing you know, I got a phone call like, "Hi, you're a winner," and literally that was not only mind blowing, but it was like the first yes that I was doing, the first like big yes that I was doing the right thing, because not actively looking for employment and changing a career at 36, I was terrified. And so that nod from Beauty Changes Lives, like I jokingly put in my stories, they were the wind beneath my wings, but they really were like, they literally held me up like, we see you, you can do this. And so, yeah,
And so
that's
that was
that's what
really,
kind of,
oh, I'm sorry, keep going.
no, I was gonna say that was like the first, since it was the first big yes for me, that kind of made me sit up straighter and say, oh, maybe I can do this. Maybe this is possible. That was a good divine wink. I like to call it little winks. And I kept getting little winks like that as I evolved in my career. And so after I graduated with my cosmetology license, um, I just started putting myself more out there and just doing little things, little steps, little steps. And those little steps kept landing in the right eyes and ears. And then I don't know, my name ended up in rooms before I did. And then, the rest is kind of history.
I mean, so that was really your first sign from the universe. And I love
Yes.
we've got someone on named Michelle, and she just said divine winks. And
Yes. Mm-hmm.
it's so true. And I'm all about that. When you take a leap and the universe kind of catches you and it's like, hey, you're doing the right thing.
Yes.
So talk to me about the difference because that paid for almost your entire beauty school. Is that
Almost.
correct?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
It was a huge burden off of my back. And what it allowed me, Beauty Changes Lives truly, truly allowed me to focus then on my goals and not how was I going to make this happen? Because the first thing my mother said was like, where's this money going to come from? You don't have $20,000 just sitting. Like I'm just young, not young, but I'm not married at the time. I'm just going out to eat, you know,
Living the
happy,
New York
happy
life.
hours. Yeah. I'm like, I'm hanging out. But then to make that step, I really thought, well, maybe if I take 2 clients this day and 3 clients this day, and it seemed overwhelming, and it was overwhelming. But when I was a scholarship recipient, I just exhaled and I was like, whoa, I can really, like, there's no excuse now, because it was a childhood dream. But now to know that it was so much closer to being realized without the burden of financial worries, it was a blessing, true blessing.
So there's a couple things I want to touch on because I also know that you grew up braiding hair. And in your video,
Yes.
you said, I don't know what I want to do, but all I want to do is braid hair.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think, I heard you kind of allude to the fact you did it right, right? You went to
Mm-hmm.
school, got a 4-year degree,
Yep.
and made the mom and dad happy. But what
Yeah.
do you think prevented you, when you knew that was your dream intuitively, what do you think prevented you from entering that initially?
Initially, it was honestly, like I put in my scholarship video, it was kind of feeling like I didn't belong. It was not knowing enough about the industry. And it was financial. I think those, and all of that equals fear, essentially. But financial reasons and just the fear of what if I'm wrong? What if this is just a hobby? What if I don't like it? What if I don't belong? What if the type of hair I want to do isn't like, because I love to braid. Like, I learned how to curl and do every color, everything else, but I love to braid. And I'm like, where's braiding really going to take? Like, like you doubt everything. And so that's really what stopped it. It was a lot of fear.
I mean, I just think that that's such a reminder that there's a place for everyone, though, right? You knew you wanted
Yes.
you love to braid, and then now for those individuals that are popping on here, tell me where you ended up, right? Your second nudge or divine wink from the universe.
Yes. So there was a smaller nudge before the big nudge. So the
Okay,
smaller
tell me
nudge
that one
was
because I
one
don't
day
think
I
you
got a
told me that
phone
one.
call to be, I don't know, I didn't tell you this one, to
No,
be featured in Good Morning America
I
as a
saw
braider.
that. That's
Yes.
on my list. Yes.
Yes. So when that happened, I said, not Good Morning Brooklyn, not Good Morning New York, Good Morning America, like America as a braider to be featured. I said, okay. And it was after that I got a phone call in the middle of the night from a guy that I met 3 years prior and worked with once, that told me he might have a connection for me. and I got looped into being on tour as the sole braider for Madonna's last tour. So I was on tour with her from Aug- August 2019 until March. I just came home in March.
I mean, crazy. It's truly it's crazy, but it's also not, right? Because
Right.
it's you trusting the universe to take care of you, when you took that
Mhm.
leap and getting over that fear. And I think
My
that's really hard for people.
my college roommate is in here. She said yes, she
Yeah,
remembers me braiding in school. I was the braider, just always the braider.
that is
But
amazing.
it's
Well,
so limited and single, so you don't think, oh, one day Madonna's gonna, like, who goes on tour with Madonna as a braider?
so
Like,
would you say that the universe, your expectations were far exceeded by the universe, that it was better than you could have imagined?
yes. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Especially as a late career changer, especially being 36. There's some careers that, well, and for me, looking on the outside, I'm thinking, what am I going to do in the beauty industry? Stand behind a chair forever? Like,
Mm,
I could not have, I couldn't have planned this. Like, that's how I know it was a divine wink.
mm.
I could not have written my own story. And this is the beginning. This is 4 years in. It's crazy.
I mean, I just got goosebumps on one side of my arm. I'm not joking. Just one arm.
It's crazy.
So, what advice would you have for people that, whether, we have followers that are from different industries, a lot in the
Hmm.
beauty industry, but entrepreneurs, students,
Hmm.
people working in existing businesses. What advice do you have for someone that maybe they're scared of something, or they're lacking trust? What advice would you give?
Um, Honestly, my advice, you know what? Your page posted something that is a piece of the advice. I wrote it down. One second. It was identify the essential and eliminate the rest.
Hmm.
That is so true. So that is a big part of it. To kind of have blinders on if you're scared, but to also take small steps. So I think what happens sometimes is, like myself, we look at the end goal, right? And let's say, even if you want to be a millionaire, you want $1 million. From your zero or debt point, you're like, what, a million? I can never get $1 million. How am I going to get $1 million? I only make $30,000. But the point is not to look at the $1 million. It's to say, well, I can save 100 and I can save 200. And before you know it, you'll have your first 1,000. And so when you break down big goals into small steps and put the blinders on, like what you posted, like eliminate anything that doesn't complement that goal, you'll be surprised at the progress you make, and then you'll start to see those winks, and then you'll be excited about, wow, like, maybe I am doing something right. And then before you know it, you're on tour with Madonna. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it's so true, because if you would have thought, from the second you decided you wanted to leave your career in marketing
Hmm.
and you wanted to pursue a different path, if you would have thought, all right, my dream is to go on tour with a celebrity, it would have been crazy,
Yep,
but your
it would
dream
have.
was, all right, I'm going to talk to my mom about this, then I'm going to find something that can help me, then enters Beauty
Yes.
Changes Lives, then
Yes.
that one mysterious connection. So I also want to touch on that, because
Hmm.
I think that's really important for listeners to recognize, is you never know who can come out of the woodwork for you, right? One
Yes.
impression. So talk to me about that.
So that situation was, a friend of mine had a friend who was a model, and my specialty is black hair, is natural hair, is braiding. And she just randomly said, have you ever braided, a white person's hair, a boy? I was like, okay, that's two no's, like, not a white boy and the hair texture. No. She said, give it a shot. I was open to it. So that's another thing. Be open to
Mm,
things. Because I could have easily said, no, I'm not interested, or that's not what I do. But I said, you know what? If I'm a braider, a part of being a professional skilled person within my niche is to know how to do a variety of textures. And so I braided his hair. It wasn't my best work, but it was neat and it was a pleasant interaction. And I was honest about it. I said, hey, I'm going to do my best and use what I know to create something that you will not be ashamed of, essentially. Like, so ultimately he went on his photo shoot. I think it was like for Moschino. It was like some big campaign. I don't know what he does. And that was the end of it. And we never spoke again. 3 years later, I see, I don't know if you have an iPhone, but sometimes when you don't have someone's number, it says maybe and the person's name.
Oh, yes.
So it said maybe and his name. And I said, why does he still have my number? Like, that was my first thought. But I thought, he's calling me at like 12:30 in the morning. I'm going to answer. So when I said hello, he said, hey, Camilla, how have you been? And I'm like, fine. I'm thinking, oh, he must want his hair braided. But he was apparently someone who worked on the team at one point, and he looped me in. And again, it was so random, but if I never said yes to that previous opportunity, and if I wasn't open and honest with him and pleasant and just, pleasant to work with too, because that also was beneficial on tour, because you're going to meet different people, different backgrounds, different experiences. And that one connection is what looped me in. And because of who he was, they trusted me. And so it kind of all connects.
It's all about relationships, especially in the beauty industry. It really is all about relationships. And you never know, and it's interesting to me that relationship on someone that you thought you did maybe your worst work, right? You weren't proud of that work, but you still showed up, you still took a chance, and then poof, you're with Madonna. I mean,
literally. And then we never spoke again. Like, it's not like you owe me, or no. I saw him once on set, and he was like, Camilla, you're here. I was like, I'm here because of you. That was it. That was it.
So amazing. All right, so I want to kind of switch the direction, because something that we're really passionate about, community, and that we're working on to bring to members of Beauty Changes Lives, is the importance of having financial literacy and financial acumen. I want to hear, if you're willing to be vulnerable and share with me, can you share a little bit about your relationship with money and with numbers, and just your own journey and how it's changed?
Numbers. So one of my biggest fears, I'm sorry, my dogs started barking if you hear noise.
It's okay.
One of my biggest fears was numbers. It was one of the reasons I chose marketing, to be honest. I said, I want to get away from numbers. I don't like numbers. But that fear trickled down even when I changed careers, because when I started to work and turn my passion into a profit, I didn't keep track of anything. And that's brutally honest. I just, I did the service. I got the money. I went out. I went to eat.
You went to your happy hours.
I had happy hours. I was like, oh, this is easy. This is fun. I'm making money, right? So I thought. And it wasn't until somewhere along the line I got married. It wasn't until we started having real conversations about, well, you're a creative, so your income it fluctuates. Absolutely. And he's in finance, so his money is steady. And now I had to be the responsible married woman with a contribution to the household, and that forced me to change how I behaved with money, and how I viewed the role that money plays in my life. So it didn't matter if my bookings were high or low. I had to be more cognizant about my spending habits, and having a log of, inventory and what I made, and taking it a lot more serious. And that's when I realized that all the education that I did get from, because I have 2 licenses. I have a natural hair license and my cosmetology license. All the education I had, all the classes I took, everything that contributed to my creative success, where I was lacking was my financial success. And like you said, just to be transparent, it's not until very recent that I started to put things on my radar to educate myself, which is no coincidence how I discovered Trinity. Because when I saw Linnell speaking to you, and I saw what your company was about, I said, I need to be in this live and watching and paying attention. And I think it's one of the things that in creatives in general, I don't think are prepared for. It's not spoken about enough.
It's not spoken enough, and there's this pendulum that we always talk about at Cunity, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's the creative, artistic, emotional, intuitive, learn by
Mm-hmm.
doing. I love that you said you knew that you wanted to work on humans instead of working on um,
Mm-hmm.
jewelry, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And truly being an artist. And it's a part of the business that is neglected. And I think with COVID and everything that's happened, it's just been further revealed. And it is a lack of financial literacy because it's not technically needed, right? You don't need to be good at numbers to get into this. You need to be really good at
Right.
writing.
Right.
You need to be the
Right.
best at that. And but you can't get to the next level, and you can't truly live a financially prosperous life without that knowledge. So,
And that's the thing. And the fact that you brought up COVID is so true, because I know for myself, to be even more transparent, as well as a few friends that I have, we were not prepared for not working for this. Like I didn't have this stash from being on
right.
tour, because on tour, we're in Paris, we're in London,
Yeah.
we're we're happy. We're happy hour got fancy. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's true. It's like COVID was a wake up call. So it's obviously nobody is enjoying the changes that came with it, but with that came a lot of opportunity for personal growth, and
Mm-hmm.
the financial literacy and the growth in that aspect of my career is where I've been pouring energy into.
So, what have you been doing to kind of level up that area? Just studying, learning, educating yourself?
Yes, looking into your program, honestly. Looking into Cunity. I
Mm-hmm.
actually started working with a business coach.
Mm.
My husband has his own efforts and has been doing a lot more research on investing. So the conversation, instead of shying away from it or saying, I don't need to, what are you watching? I don't have to watch that. I'm like, oh, what is that about? I need to be there. I need to know. It's just wanting to be part of the conversation more, instead of scrolling by these conversations. It's actually sitting in and stopping.
Mm. Well, and it goes back to what you said. It's about those small steps, right?
Yes.
Peeking and
Yes.
diving in. It's not like you have to, you know, go open a major investment account tomorrow, right?
Yes.
You need
Yes.
to start to learn and just start to take care of yourself
Absolutely.
and begin the process with education. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you offer someone struggling to make a change, right? Going back to that quote, you're one decision away from a totally different life.
Mm-hmm.
If someone is looking for a totally different life, whatever circumstance they're in, what words of encouragement would you give them, or advice?
Words of encouragement or advice for someone looking to make a change, right?
Mm-hmm. And not
Um,
necessarily career, just
oh
in
wait,
any capacity.
you froze in any capacity.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cliche, but you truly have to believe it's possible.
Mm.
Like it, it's the belief and the audacity almost that it can happen that propels me. And that is what I would offer to someone. Like, have the audacity to think a piece of it is possible. Maybe not how you envision, and be flexible. That's the other thing. Be flexible, because like I said, I couldn't have written the story that I'm living. But as long as I was focused on my goal, I was open to how it showed up in little pieces. And we only get, I truly believe too that we get, the reality that we get is literally only as limited as what we believe and see. So it goes back to believe in the possibility, and you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. My father actually gave me a great quote that he told me one day. The How does he say it? The subconscious does not have a sense of humor. So
Mm.
you also have to be careful what you say to yourself about your dreams and the things that you want to achieve.
And I think it goes back to, what you say about numbers, right? We've worked
Mm-hmm.
with so many people that they have this fear around money, or they're not worthy of making a certain amount of money. And I
Yes.
think that's so prevalent in creative industries, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so if you don't work to change that, it will manifest, right? And
Yes.
there's this
Yes.
myth of this starving artist, and that's really, it
Yes.
can be changed with education. I love that. And
Yes.
belief, and belief.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting too, because I love what you said about that, because I am a person that struggles with this. I'm
Mm-hmm.
someone that craves certainty, and I think humans, we crave certainty. So
Yeah.
when you just release and it's let the universe surprise you as long as you continue to show up.
Yes.
I love
Yes.
it.
Yes. And yeah, don't look at your horoscope to try to figure out
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
what's gonna happen. Like
Yeah.
get off of horoscopes.com.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, I want to be respectful of time, so I've got a couple more questions.
Okay.
Now, we talk about something at Cunity, and it's this importance of prosperity. That's really our focus and our purpose. And we have a
Mm-hmm.
very specific definition of prosperity, and it's helping people to earn more money, do what they love, and have a great quality of life.
Mm-hmm.
And really, we believe, financial prosperity is a key component to that. It's hard to be
Mm-hmm.
prosperous if you're struggling financially, but
Mm-hmm.
we also recognize everybody's definition of prosperity is different. So, what does prosperity mean to you? That's my question.
So prosperity for me is it goes beyond money. When you're prosperous, I think you flourish, in every aspect. Money is a part of it, but it goes beyond that. I think when people are prosperous, they attract situations and connections that have a financial gain to it, but also never has them lacking, if that makes sense. So somebody can have the $1 million that we spoke about earlier, but not be prosperous because they can be unhappy. They can their marriage is failing. Their relationships never fail. But if you're prosperous with $1 million, everything you touch and connect to flourishes around you. And so it's more to me of an abundance beyond financial gain.
Abundance.
Mhm.
I love it.
Mhm.
Couple things for those of you that are watching. Now, you have an amazing ebook. It's called Beyond the Braids. Talk to the audience about where they can find
Yes.
that.
So Beyond the Braids is a book I wrote about braids, but it
About your
goes,
passion.
yes, but it goes beyond that, hence the title, because I speak specifically about scalp health and braid maintenance, women who wear braids, how to maintain their hair, how the what it's I call it the what, how, and when of of braid maintenance. It's the link is in my bio. It's on my website. I am misshairandhumor.com. And yeah, it was received very well. Like some of my friends who have access to me 24/7 told me they learned so much. And I'm like, we talk every day. Why don't you know this already? Like my friends should know this. But they're like, no, I've been washing my hair wrong. There's just different rules for different textures. And so to know that people that I even just educate on a personal level enjoyed it, that meant the world to me because it's my first time as an author, but I love to write. So I'm
Another
super
part of your
excited.
story you
Yes.
could not have planned, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. No, did not
Amazing.
plan
Well,
it.
I'll put the link into the profile after once I share
Oh,
this.
thank you
But
so much.
yes, of course. Now, for those of you also watching, Camilla is a recipient of a Beauty Changes Life scholarship. So I would strongly encourage you guys, if you're thinking about making a career change, or if you're looking to support an organization that makes, arguably they helped you make this career possible, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So I
Absolutely.
would encourage you to check out Beauty Changes Lives. And if you're interested, apply for a scholarship or see if there's a way you can support. And another way that we're personally supporting Beauty Changes Lives is up until end of September, we will be donating half the proceeds of both of our online courses. One is called Profit and one
Hmm.
is called Prosper. Profit is really for owners and leaders looking to level up financial acumen as it relates to a P&L and basically, overall financial management skills.
Hmm.
Prosper is really about our visual thinking tools, and it's designed to help you make more money and also tons of other
Mm.
byproducts with that. So I would encourage you to check those out. Half of your proceeds, half of your enrollment will be donated to Beauty Changes Lives. So it's a great way to get education and also be able to support Beauty Changes Lives to do more of the amazing
Yes.
work that they're doing.
I
So
love that.
yes, so I'd encourage you guys to join. And thank you so much for watching. And anything else you want to say, Camilla?
No, I think we said it all. I think
We did.
everybody should go out there and activate their dreams. Just
Mm,
activate and focus. I think it's so great. So great. And
amazing.
and prosper.
And prosper. And prosper. I love it.
Prosper.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Camilla.
Thank
I'm so
you.
grateful you took the time, and thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.